Oh, I get giddy just thinking about it. Send me to jail. Oh, so pissed off. I'm here for a good freaking time. Hey, 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 what's up, guys? Welcome to my Caffeinated Chaos. I'm Cassie, and today we are going to yap about some of my favorite fantasy series. These are going to be 5 book series that I will not shut up about. I will defend till the day and if you don't like them, that's fine. But for me, they're amazing. This is going to be a spoiler-free yap session, and I'm going to kind of leave out the tropes when I describe these books as well, because me personally, I kind of feel like that's like spoilery when it comes to books. Like if I know the trope going into it, a lot of times it's like takes the fun out of it, I guess. And I think that these books you should enter in as blind as you can, or as blind as you would like. But I am a fan of darker themes. So as always, make sure you check your trigger warnings and make sure that these books are for you before you jump into them, because most of them do have some triggering potential things in them. Check your trigger warnings, and as always, protect your freaking peace, okay? Because you matter. We are going to start out strong with one of my all-time favorite god tier freaking series, the Plated Prisoner series. This series is by Raven Kennedy. I read it after it was completed, so that also was probably a good move on my part. I don't know how I would have felt if I was left on some of the cliffhangers that I was left on. In this series, you're following Orin, King Midas's gold-touched prisoner. As much as she's a prisoner, he like saved her from poverty in some really shitty circumstances. He like refers to her as his precious, so prisoner, but like not prisoner, if you catch the vibe. And the bond that she feels she has with him is freaking unmatched. This was like her man. This is like my man, my man, my man. That's how she feels about King Midas. And then war comes for the kingdom, right? And it seems like everything kind of changes, and the things that maybe he starts to do makes her maybe like question, like, wait a second, am I his precious? Like, what is going on here? What is going through this man's head? So you follow her through chaos, absolute chaos, and some very traumatic, life-altering moments. And you learn a lot about like the trauma that she's endured throughout her whole life, which is just like so freaking sad. She lived a shitty life. That's the only way I can describe it right now. So this is a Midas retelling, like from Greek mythology. It's just like with a little twist, you know what I mean? She's like the plated prisoner, and like she's like the gold touch person, because essentially he touched her and then she turned to gold. And there is some crazy good plot twists in this book, and some things that like I was like, go girl, go girl. And I love an FMC that I'm like cheering on, and I'm like, you're a badass in your own right. I freaking love it. Definitely search your trigger warnings before you start this book, because the first book's opening scene is intense. So please, 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 please check your trigger warnings. But I promise you, if you can get through this series, it is so good. This series like changed my life. I think about it every day. I plan on rereading it this year, probably sooner rather than later, because I think I found out it's on Kindle Unlimited too, and I have been becoming obsessed with using my Kindle again. I go through phases where I like don't even touch it for a while, but the convenience of the Kindle right now for me is just unmatched, and I definitely plan on rereading it. I'm a sucker for this story. I wish I could tell you a little bit more, but then I just don't want to spoil anything, because the twists and the turns and whatnot are amazing. They're freaking amazing. Honestly. The second series we're going to talk about, I read last year, and I ate that shit up. Ate it up. This one is not finished yet. There's only 4 books currently. I believe it's going to be either a 5 or 6 book series. That is the House of Devils series. You will follow Loren and Darian. And when I tell you, oh, I get giddy just thinking about it. By the 4th book, you're introduced to a lot more characters, and you get a lot more POVs. And there are some of my favorite characters, okay? I loved every single character. The side characters, the main characters. Like, this series did something to me throughout the book. Is I had like some like Stranger Things vibes with the way there's like, you know, I forget what they call it in the Upside Down from Stranger Things. There's like a portal situation that leads to like a realm that to me it reminded me of the Upside Down. Like that's kind of how I pictured it in my head, a lot of it. I thought that was like a cool vibe, like if you like Stranger Things. So in this series, you are going to follow Loren Calla, who is a human in a city of supernatural beings, and Darian Castle, who is what we call a dark slayer, which is essentially like a bounty hunter, and he is one of those supernatural beings. And this is an urban fantasy series. I know a lot of people are like weird about urban fantasies. Like Crescent City is, I think, the first urban fantasy I read, and I'm not mad about it. That's one of my god tier series. I love an urban fantasy now. I'm a sucker for them. And this one also just like sealed the deal for me. Okay, sealed the freaking deal. I love when books start out with like maybe one or two point of views, but then like as you go, you get more characters' point of views. That just like hooks me for some reason. The way that Kayla Edwards does it is just, I love it. I recommend diving into this series now. Don't wait. It's worth doing now, okay? And I'm not big on reading series that are incomplete. Sometimes that's like a heartbreaker for me, but this series is worth it. Please, please, please read it now. Loren and Darian meet with not the best circumstances, but then they kind of like team up and they realize that there is so much more going on in this corrupt ass government than they know. And the corrupt underbelly of Angel Theme, which is like where it's set in. This is a super wild ride. It's going to have you laughing, kicking your feet, giggling, blushing, smiling, crying, all the freaking things. I think I experienced every single emotion. You're going to get pissed off. Like, oh, so pissed off. It has one of the tropes that eats my heart out in the bad way. Like, oh my God, I was getting so pissed at them during some of it. Something that I think is like super special about a series is if you can fall in love with the side characters as much as the main characters, that's something special to me. If I love all the characters, that is like, this series has my freaking heart. So this is also one of my god tier series and it's not even finished yet. And I really hope that it doesn't get ruined because when I read the Legacy series, the last book in that series knocked it out of being a god tier series for me. Like the rest of them were absolutely amazing to die for. And then that one like ruined it. So I really hope that doesn't happen to this one. I can't imagine it will happen because I'm obsessed. This is another one that I think I need to reread again. And I literally just read it last summer. I didn't say this for Plated Prisoner. So Plated Prisoner is spicy and so is House of Devils. So just like, you know, if that's not your thing, these are probably not for you. These books just like hit it on the teeth, the perfect amount of spice, if I do say so myself. The third series I will take no shit about, and this is one that people love to shit on, is the Zodiac Academy. Okay, I understand this writing is not peak freaking writing. Like you're not studying this in your literature class. That's good because I'm not here to study literature. I'm here for a good freaking time. And that's exactly what this series is. And because you're following twin sisters, Darcy and Tori Vega, I feel like there is going to be someone you can relate to because they are, in my opinion, so different from each other. And then their love interests also different from each other. So like you're going to find someone that you love. I know that this series is a commitment, but if you do anything and you believe anything I say, let it be this. It is worth it. It's worth the commitment, baby. I read these back to back and I do not regret it one bit. I did not read any of the novellas though. I will say that. I'm going to when I reread it, this is another one I want to reread this series. Are you catching something here? That these are like comfort series for me. So I want to read like more of the spin-off series because there's like other series that spin off of it as well. And the only one that I have read is The Sins of Zodiac. I read the first two and I plan on reading that third one very, very soon. So if you enjoy being emotionally devastated, emotionally destroyed, if you like to end a book and like close it and say, what in the actual fuck, this series is for you. If you like astrology, cherry on freaking top because the astrology aspects to this book had me sold, had me freaking sold. It's honestly probably one of the reasons that I did not even see why people hate it so much the first time I read it because I was just like, this is awesome. So you are, like I said, following a pair of twin girls. They were raised in the human realm. And when I say they were poor, they were poor. They dealt with trauma, they dealt with hardship, and they freaking kept on keeping it moving, which I think is like strength in such its own. And then they get taken to Solaria, where they're no longer in the human realm. They find out that they have a throne that they should be inheriting, which, you know, with throne comes money. So they're obviously like, wait a second, what? But in order to get there, they have to go through this academy, the Zodiac Academy, and they have to like pass the academy to be able to get their inheritance. However, they are not the only ones after this throne, right? The boys that were thought that they were the ones that were going to get to take over the throne and be like the kings or whatever, I forget how they call it, of Solaria, are like, hold up, who are these bitches? Who are these bitches? And something that I found super refreshing is like, so there's like 4 male main characters, 5, I would say 5 male main characters, and they're all so different. Like their personalities are so different. So there's somebody for everybody. The main character is amazing. The side characters, amazing. That you're going to see a theme here is like, I loved all the characters in all these books. And that is, I feel like that's hard to do. It's hard to write a series where you love everybody. Everyone who reads the series are either a Tori girly or you're a Darcy girly. Okay. And as much as I love Darcy, she had blue hair. I had blue hair at the time that I read this, like the black blue. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm a Darcy girly. But no, at the end of the day, I'm a Tori girly. And there's something about girls that are traumatized and bitches that I am just like, that's my girl. That's my girl. I do love Darcy, and there are elements of Darcy in her love story that I think are beautiful, immaculate, and I am like, that's my girl. But at the end of the day, if it was put to your head and you need to pick between Tori and Darcy, I'm going with Tori every single time. Send me to jail. I'm going with Tori. Just love this series so much. I'm sorry. I feel like there's hair tickling me. Oh my God, my sensory issues can't handle it. Everybody who likes fantasy or fantasy romance should read this series. The way it ends is amazing, and I cannot wait to dive back in. I can't wait to be back in this universe and other series. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I think about them every single day, every single day. The next one I have already mentioned earlier in this video. It is Crescent City, okay? And that's by Sarah J. Maas. I know some people hate her, some people love her. I might love a series and I will literally have no idea anything about the author. And like, I feel like that's okay. Maybe it's not okay. Maybe I need to do like some more digging about authors before I just like commit to a series so hard. But I love all of Sarah J. Maas's stories. I can't wait for the next ACOTAR, the 2 next books to come out. Like, I'm obsessed. So I just reread Crescent City last year, and the reread hits so much harder than the first time around. This is an urban fantasy, so that like kind of threw me for a loop. I think the first time I read it, I had to like really wrap my head around that. But then the second time I knew what I was getting into, so like that didn't stop me from loving it at all. You are following Bryce Quinlan, a half fae, half human in a city of mostly fae. She grew up in like more of a human district or city, town, whatever. And then you're also following Hunt Athalar, who is a notorious fallen angel. He used to be a rebel. There's a war in the past that he fought in and they lost. So now he's now enslaved by the archangels that he rebelled against. So Hunt gets assigned to this case where he has to interview and then like protect Bryce, and that's kind of how they meet and get together, or not get together, but like that's how they meet and they like find out about each other. The rest is just amazing. Okay, I'm getting like chills just thinking about it. The song Ordinary by Alex Warren, I cannot listen to it without thinking about them, because in that song he like says something about like the angels up in the clouds are jealous because we found something so out of this ordinary. That might not be exact, but it's something along those lines. When I tell you none of them archangels want these two together, I'm not lying. So that song makes me think about them every single time. I definitely be crying thinking about them sometimes. So don't judge me. You kind of start with less point of views and then get more point of views as you go. And her brother, Rune Danon, Prince of the Valvarian Fae, Rune baby. I wish he had more in these books. I love him. I am obsessed with his love story that you kind of get to see pan out, but I don't want to give you any spoilers. Bryce is a badass FMC, and as you will see in many of these videos on my channel, I am a sucker for a badass FMC. If you have a story with a badass FMC, I'm going to eat it up. So please leave any recommendations in the comments because I will eat it up. I will eat it up every time. what's even better is like she's not even the only badass female main character or female character in this series. There are a lot of badass female characters in this series, and like serve them up to me on a silver freaking platter, why don't you? Like, it's amazing. And if you have read Throne of Glass and you have read ACOTAR and you have not read Crescent City because maybe it's a little daunting, they are thicker books, please just do yourself a favor, because at the end of the day, if you read Throne of Glass, you read probably more pages, definitely more pages than Crescent City is. Like, do yourself a favor, pick these freaking books up and read them, because they are worth it. They are a hell of a ride. You are going to once again laugh, cry, giggle, blush, be pissed the fuck off. But at the end of it, you're going to be like, wow, that was beautiful. I do not think that this series gets enough love. I think out of all of her series, this gets the least love, and it's my favorite so far. It also does have spice. I don't think I said Zodiac Academy is spicy, but Zodiac Academy is also spicy. So the only series that doesn't have spice is the next one we're about to talk about. The Cruel Prince trilogy. This is a YA series. If you're not into YA, I completely understand that. However, this girl right here, I like a YA book. I don't need spice to be like in love with a book. This series is not necessarily a romance. It has a romance subplot. So if that's also something that you're looking for, is more fantasy that has like romance heavy in it, this may not be for you. But this series follows a girl, Jude, who is a human, and she is kidnapped when she's young and taken to live in the High Court of in the High Court of Fairy. She is, instead of like becoming like these motherfuckers, right? She ends up being like, I want to prove to them that I belong, that I am just as good as any of these fairy fucks. That's how I feel. She's like, fuck these fairies, in the sense of like, I'm going to prove that I'm just as good as you, if not better. And all of the fairies kind of feel like mortals are like scum. They're like the gum on the bottom of your shoe, right? So like she has to really like work hard to get there, if that's what she's going to do. I feel like she just really wants to feel like she belongs in this place. And it's a place where like she doesn't belong, because she's a mortal in a fairy high court. Obviously, 2 and 2 don't go together necessarily. Like I said, does not have any spicy scenes. However, there is some traumatic, darker themes also involved in this one. So search up some trigger warnings. Make sure this is something that you will enjoy. You know, protect your peace. I do not want to ruin anything about this, so I'm not going to give you any more into it, because this one, I do feel like you need to go into blind. You need to go into it pretty blind. You need to realize that it's a great ride. Another one that I need to reread, because when I was reading it, I read it so quick. I was obsessed. It's just so good. As far as like rating these series, all of these series in my opinion are like 5-star series, hence why I will take no crap on them. If these series aren't for you, that's okay too. Like, these are the ones that I will defend till the day that I... Reading is subjective, okay? We don't have to like the same things. However, these series are amazing to me. I think everyone should read them, or at least give them a chance. They changed my life. Okay, they changed my life. I think out of all of them, The Cruel Prince is the only one that's a single point of view. So if you can't tell, I do like the multi-point of view more a lot of the times. They're all amazing. I love them so much. I hope that you read one of them. If you have read them, tell me what you thought about them in the comments. Tell me who's your favorite character. Give me all the things. Like, let's yap a little bit together. So if you made it this far, I freaking love you. I love you. Thank you for hanging out with me. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.